Welcome back to another video, guys. Today I'm here with Ashraf and the very famous Upper Boon King rooftop deck. Some people actually pointed out and they were asking me, hey, how come now your videos are all the rooftop deck? Because I do not have time to travel to some places and last minute shoots, I just slot it in my area. So Ashraf, thank you so much for messaging me on Instagram and wanting to feature your bike. Maybe I'll just give a bit of intro. This is the Pragma Glycogen. Very weird name. Do they have like a carbohydrate version or something? Okay, it's a dad joke. This frame is actually by a very well-known Aussie YouTuber. I've mentioned him in my videos before. It's Durian Rider.
Question here we got: why did I start up the Pragma bikes? So I created Pragma to have just the best product out there. The best, literally the best product out there that money can buy. At a price that most people in a Western economy can afford. If you're a cyclist, maybe if you're in Sri Lanka or Bangladesh and you earn $2 a day, probably not watching YouTube videos either, are you? But for the average cyclist, you want to create something affordable because how much does it cost for a Pinarello frame? How much does it cost for the latest Cannondale, latest S-Works, or latest Canyon? And they're all coming out of China. All coming out of China. Go and listen to the creator of Factor Bikes, Rob G. He's put out some great podcasts there. I think Cycling Maven did one. Cycling Tips had a great podcast with Rob G from Factor. The guy is probably one of the most experienced people in carbon cycling manufacturing who walks the planet today. Maybe he is the most experienced, So, and he says 99% of the product out there is coming out of China.
He came out with this frame, right? And it's in a rim because he's an advocate of rim brakes. Yes. I'll probably pass it on to you and you can explain more a bit about this frame and why you got this one. And it's a 105 Groupset. Would you consider this a pretty budget build? And it's a Avian Wheelset, right? From Shopee. So yeah, over to you and just probably just tell us about the bike.
Okay, thanks for having me here. So this is the Pragma Glycogen. It's a 54 cm size frame. As mentioned, it was from Durian Rider. He made this frame, but he says he's from the China factory. It's a big factory that makes all other brands, so I can believe him. I watched his videos for a long time, and at that time last year, around January, February, I needed a new frame because my old aluminium frame was corroded. I sweat a lot, so I thought a carbon frame would be better. So I took a shot at this frame. With this custom paint, it costs around 1.3k SGD. I've never seen anyone else riding the same frame, the same brand, and a few of the riders actually try ask, hey, what are you riding? I say I never seen this before. It looks like a giant TCR or the Rayleigh Helium. I say I got it from this crazy Aussie guy. Yeah.
So on the frame, right? What is your height?
So my height is around 176, 177. My inseam is around 86. I actually went to a bike fit and fit me to this bike. Before that, I was having hand pain, back pain, and after that is sort me out after 6 months of riding without a fit, and now I can go comfortably about 150, 200 km easy, no pain.
Why a Pragma and how do you purchase this bike?
Okay, why this bike? Because actually I support Durian Rider and I follow his advice about bikes. He's a very strong supporter of rim brakes. And it's a very easy to maintain bike. So actually, why not? I can do maintenance by myself. And you have to go to his website, durianrider.com, to email him and pick what you want actually. So you email him what size, what color you want, and he will arrange with you lah.
In terms of the color, right? You say it's a custom paint job. Do you get to choose any color that you want, or is it something that it's already predefined and you get to choose from there?
For the color, you can actually give him a rough idea what you want or some pictures. He will liaise with the factory that does the paint. So he will come back to you and say, okay, do you want this gloss gold or matte gold? Then you just reply and he will do the rough SketchUp and you will get your paint. Yeah.
How long did it take for you to receive this frame upon order?
During last year was a COVID season, so all the bike factories were having a shortage, so it took me about 6 months to get the frame over here. So it's a very long wait. Lucky I had my aluminium bike.
Okay, are there any warranties on the frame? So if any defects, do you get to send it back to him and he'll give you a new one, or how does that work?
Okay, he says there's a 2-year warranty on the frame. If there's any problem, you can just contact him directly. He will reply your email like within 1 or 2 days. He's a fast replier.
Okay. And you told me now that this frame is out of production because the factory in China where these are made, they only make disc brakes. So Durian Rider decides not to continue with this. Is that correct?
Yes, you're correct. The bike industry is a money-making machine, so they cater to the disc brakes now. Then the rim brakes is dying over there.
Okay. So that's why he's not producing it anymore.
Yeah, he does sell some gravel frames or the endurance frame. Yeah, with disc brakes.
Is it still branded as Pragma, or is it a different name?
It's still Pragma, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
This bike comes in the regular rim calipers, unlike the direct one where there are 2 bolts mounted onto the seat stay and the fork. I personally prefer the direct mount because it doesn't wiggle left and right. So unlike the regular ones, because there's only 1 bolt, right? Sometimes if you're transporting your bike, it tends to sway a little bit and then it rubs again. But of course, you can just push it easily with one hand. Have you tried the direct mount, or do you prefer this type?
Okay, so I never tried the direct mount before, but for me, I've been using this normal rim brakes for many years, and it's easy to adjust. I don't see a problem lah. And when you're riding on the road and you want to go fast, you don't really touch your brakes unless it's an emergency or it's a red light. Yeah.
What is the weight of the bike?
I think everything you see here is about 8.5. It's quite a heavy bike because I didn't really tell you about the components.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a like fake prologo seat. It's about $30 from Shopee. Okay, then the seat post is from Chain Reaction Cycles. So quite a few things are from there, including the stem. It's just a normal Easton stem around 110 mm. The bars are aluminium bars, FSA Omega Compact. I really like these bars because you can go into the drops and feel really comfortable.
And it's quite shallow, the drop.
Yeah, correct. It's a compact model.
It's a 40 cm width, right?
I think 40 or 38. A full 105 group set. I got it from Lazada, Shopee. It costs around 700 total for the group set.
What's the cost of the whole bike?
Just under 2.8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quite reasonable.
Yeah. Then I have a Stages power meter, but that was very long ago already, like around 4-5 years already, and it's still going strong.
Why these wheel sets?
Okay, so I was looking for really budget wheel sets. I tried the Yo-Yo. I was looking at Winspace, but both are like over 1,000 plus SGD. So I was scrolling through Shopee, and there were really a lot of reviews from the Malaysian side.
I'm going to give you my long-term review on this carbon wheel set. I am really impressed with the quality that this wheel have offered me. Well, basically because after some times, usually people will say Chinese carbon wheel set will run out of true, meaning that the tire will slightly wobble or misalign a bit. But this never happened to me, and I'm still running it with a factory stock tension. Another thing to note is the braking performance. Well, carbon wheel set does not have a good reputation on braking performance, especially during a wet ride.
So I thought just give it a shot. So when I got the wheels, it was making a funny sound in the hub. So I opened it up, then I clean it out, put some new grease, and it's all fine. Yeah.
Okay, so it's some grease issue.
Yeah, correct.
And these are in-house Avian hubs, is it?
Yes, correct.
How does it perform with this Avian wheel?
They are quite fast, man. I was from Fulcrum Force, the aluminium ones, and I changed to this. It feels like a total different bike.
Oh.
Yeah.
There are probably more questions on the Instagram Q&A, which I will leave it for later. Would you recommend this frame? I mean, I know it's no longer in production, but going back in time, will you still get this frame having ridden it?
If I had another chance, I still buy this frame because it's very easy to maintain and there's a lot of spare parts that you can actually change if you don't like it. It's a very no-brainer.
You say this bike is you're pretty satisfied with the bike, and anything that you don't like about the bike in general?
Probably I would try and have some Di2, but I don't have budget.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very annoying. I have to keep adjusting the cables.
So the mechanical cables are giving you issues?
I use my bike quite a lot and abuse it, so it tends to wear out fast and I have to change my parts quite frequently. Usually my chain, my brake pads, every 6 months or 1 year I will change my cables before it snaps.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I know probably you have never tried a disc brake bike, but are you convinced to get a disc brake bike?
Okay, I never tried a disc brake, but from watching Duran's YouTube, I don't think I would go to disc brake anytime soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
You will still stick to rim.
Yep, because I don't see a need for disc brakes here, and I don't really use the brakes.
Wow. Okay. So you just bomb and bang into people and hope that they will stop you lah. Okay. So given if you have unlimited money, what will be your next bike and what is the dream setup?
Okay, I never really thought about my dream bike, but I've seen some factor bikes like the VAM. That's very nice and very sleek bike. So maybe I have that. There is Di2 NV wheels. Yeah.
The dream, unlimited money, man.
Yes. Then the integrated cockpit. Yeah.
You're missing out the important part. Are you going to get the ceramic speed pulley?
If I have money, why not? It looks good, man. Plus the absolute black oval chainrings. Actually, I had them on, but I bought the 4630. It was too small for me, so I changed back to the normal chainrings. Yeah.
So we'll move on to the Instagram Q&A. If you guys want to submit your questions, follow me on Instagram and you'll get the chance to ask your questions. So Ashraf, are you ready? First question. Bring it on. Why a white bar tape? Is it difficult to maintain?
Okay, actually I just changed my bar tape like a few weeks ago. Because I sweat a lot, so I have a few spare bar tapes. I change every 1 or 2 months. So I just decided to try this color.
Is it hard to maintain? Or too early to say?
Too early to say, but there's some black marks already there.
After how long?
2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've owned one white bar tape before. I don't know why I did it. Maybe because I was desperate and I needed a bar tape. And it gets black really fast, but then it's an indication that it's time to change, I guess. But you see, even you mentioned, you just recently changed and it's a bit black already. Ever since then, I've never gotten white bar tapes. Is the frame as good as what Durian Rider or Harley advertised?
Okay, for me, coming from a aluminium frame, of course it's gonna be better with a carbon frame. I've never tried any other bikes, but test my friend's bike have lah. But okay lah, it does compare to the mainstream carbon bikes, and I can easily keep up with them lah. For this frame, it feels snappy and light. You can accelerate very fast.
This is a punny question. Is the seat post height pragmatic?
Most people always mention about my seat post height and the seat post drop. I've been to the bike fitter and he says I was actually a bit shorter. The seat post was a bit shorter. He moved it up about 2 cm. And he said, yeah, now I'm feeling much more comfortable on the bike. Yeah.
Who's the bike fitter?
Well, I went to Pro Cycle Bikes, I think.
Oh, the one
At the Bukit Merah, yes.
Oh, okay, Darren,
Yeah,
right?
Darren, correct.
Okay. Just looking at the setup, right? I mean, nobody can ask this stupid question: why is the stem not slammed? Because it's slammed, and the seat post is so high. You're settled to bar drop. I mean, just looking at it, I'm getting back pains, man. But of course, later I'll film you riding the bike, and you guys can judge whether how aero the position is. But it looks super aero. Do you get any back pains riding long rides?
So far, after I've been to the bike fit, there's no back pain or whatever. Just sore legs from whacking people.
How do you feel riding a $2,500 bike, smoking all those $10,000 Madones and SL7?
It's not a new feeling for me. Where when I was on aluminium bikes, I still smoke them. But it really feels good lah. Especially if you're blasting through Mandai. Oh, it feels good, man.
I hope I never have to encounter you. I don't want you to smoke me on a $2,500 bike. Okay, next question. Are you fast or is the bike fast?
Okay, I think I know who asked this question, but you know me, I'm fast and my bike is fast. You can try.
What bottle cages are these, and why this bottle cage? Looks very heavy.
Okay, I can't remember what the model is, but it's from Elite. And I've always been using metal bottle cages because I can actually bend them to fit my bottles tighter. Because I like to just whack the bike and just sprint because I scared my bottles will come out. Yeah, that's why I chose the metal cages.
What is integrated on this bike?
I don't think there's anything.
Let me see if I can see anything. Okay, no, it's very old school.
Yeah.
I would say it's old school lah, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, pretty much standard. So yeah, there's not much headache when you're needing to adjust like the bars or whatever.
Reminds me of my old bikes where it looks exactly like this, where you know things are not integrated. You can buy stems, handlebar, and play around with it. So it's lovely. Okay, bro, I don't know why you asked this question, man. Does it sound like MotoGP? Prang, 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 prang.
Bro, if you're blasting through people, you can make the sound yourself.
We will see the free hub sound and see whether it sounds like a MotoGP and whether I managed to imitate it. Dura Ace crank versus 105 crank.
Bro, I really no budget for Dura Ace. So 105 for me. If I really need to change all the wear and tear parts, I can easily buy them. So yeah, that's why I chose 105.
What happened to the crank? I think he's asking about the scratch there, or what happened there.
I think it's just the way I pedal and my shoe scraping it. There's a loss of about 50 watts there. Yeah.
If your shoes are scraping, right, maybe you need a shim or a spacer here on your pedals. Have you thought of that?
I've asked Darren at Pro Cycle, so he says he's okay. He actually put some shims on my cleats, but that's the other shoe. So far, it's still scraping a little bit when I push, but so far it's okay for me.
Is it pragmatic to ride?
It's really easy ride to get on, and there's no headache about this bike. Once you get on it, you just want to ride and ride. It makes you really happy.
You know Durian Rider has his squeeze test, right? On his SL7 frames. You know, right? I did a video on that also. There's this YouTuber guy called Durian Rider. You gotta use two hands, man.
Squeezing very hard and my fingers are red already and I cannot even get it to move.
So the question is, does it pass the squeeze test? Do you want to do it? Or are you afraid that you'll break the carbon? It's okay? Okay, let's put Durian Rider on the spot. By the way, this is not advice because it kind of damages the frame. Is it flexing? No, it looks so stiff, man.
I use 2 times. Cannot, bro.
Cannot? Can you try down a bit? Cannot flex?
Cannot, bro. You see my knuckle?
Okay. Durian Rider will be impressed. So looks like you passed the squeeze test, whoever who asked that question. The next one. Do you hate disc brakes with the fury of 1,000 suns?
I don't hate disc brakes. It's just that I don't find it practical on the road. I do have a mountain bike at home that has disc brakes. So it's a time and place for disc brakes.
This is a funny question. Did you build this bike under a mango tree?
Bro, I think he's talking about Durian Rider.
Oh.
Yeah.
I prefer this bike, working this bike, riding this bike, because I can put some lighter parts in here.
His backyard is full of bikes and he just hang the bike on the tree. So, but no, there's no tree in my home. So
If you have a tree in Singapore, you must be a very wealthy guy. You won't be riding this mango bike. Last question. How do you get Durian Rider to answer your emails?
I think he's looking out for the emails. He replies quite fast, and if you need anything, he will get back to you. So far, no problem.
I want to go back to the question who asked Vipin. He asked if he built the bike under a mango tree. Vipin, can you please email Durian Rider and ask him whether he built it under the mango tree? Hey, that's it of the video. I mean, that's all the questions I have. Oh, last one. You know the question? Yeah, bro. Okay, I'm not gonna ask.
Of course, bro. Must support local. I'm subscribed.
Thanks, man, and thanks for coming out on such short notice. And that's the end of the video. If you guys want to feature your bike, just DM me on Instagram. And thank you so much, Ashraf. Thanks for showing us the Pragma and showing us all the goodies and what's good and what's not good. That's all the end of the video. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.